Fiordland mountain ridge, clad in thousands of tons of snow and ice. It was threatening to fall on workmen who were waiting to clear the Milford Road of debris from an earlier fall. So, with the aid of explosives and some daredevilry, they forced nature's hand.
For the first time in a week, the weather cleared long enough to allow the avalanche experts to fly in with explosives. Their mission, to set off an avalanche with a mixture of phosphate and diesel, dropped where the snow gathers high above the road. After the drop, the pilot has just 2 minutes to fly clear of the area before the blast. Then it's a matter of seconds. An estimated 250,000 tons of snow hit the valley, one of the biggest falls across the road in recent years. It also dammed the river in a couple of places before it cut a new course. With the threat of another avalanche removed, bulldozers could start clearing the road. But the road won't open until 3 more falls have been cleared. And with more avalanches threatening, the weather will have to improve before the helicopter flies out on another bombing run. Kathy Graham for the Network News. Path. Plaques commemorate the tragedies in which 3 men lost their lives.
The men felt it was unsafe because their shower block was out here, and they'd had a meeting about it, and the 2 overseers had decided that they would decide what they were going to do about the men, whether they had a just cause. So,
they were on strike over it, were they?
That's right, the men were in the portal, and while they're in the portal was a whoosh across the mouth of the tunnel and it swept the building away, and that's where 2 guys lost their lives. And
the wreckage at the east portal serves as a further reminder of the danger lurking on the slopes high above the valley. But Wayne Carron doesn't need reminding. He was in this bulldozer 5 years ago when tragedy struck again, killing the works overseer, Pop Andrew.
Well, I knew I was in a hell of a lot of trouble, so I just put my head under the dash and wrapped my arms around the head, and so that was the safest place to be, and lucky enough I got away with it.
Pop didn't get away with it, but the authorities did at least recognise the urgency of introducing a program of avalanche control. Canadian Alan Dennis was employed as an avalanche technician. Wayne took over Pop's job, and together the 2 men set about making the roads safe for workmen and motorists alike.
I realise now what responsibility he carried, like, you know, we've got some sort of weapons to combat it with now. He was 1 man on his own virtually, and he had nothing.
He could guess it within 80–90% of the time. He knew the day that he was in there with Wayne, you know, and working on the bulldozer, that it was a bad time to be in there. He knew very well he shouldn't have been, but he was also, you know, wanted to help people out, try and get the road open, and he just pushed a little bit too far, you know.
It's only from the air you can really appreciate the extent of the snowfields, and Wayne and Alan know each of them intimately. They've taken their own pictures to show the authorities what they're getting for the $370,000 they spend every year on avalanche control. When the weather allows, they fly up regularly to check on the weather stations and test the snowpack. In areas of acute danger, Alan has had to literally tie himself to the mountain to examine the snow. Weather, wind and temperature are the 3 factors that are critical in avalanche prediction. But the history of each avalanche path and the seasonal pattern are also crucial factors in evaluating the risk. Down at base in Te Anau, equipment at the 2 weather stations monitors conditions constantly. When they know an avalanche is threatening, that's when they fly in to bring it down with explosives.
It's very dramatic, but it shouldn't be dangerous, no more than flying in a helicopter is or using explosives is. It's just the combination of the 2 that is, adds another edge to it. So we try to be conservative about when we do it. You know, there's rocks inside clouds, and we don't want to be doing it when it's mixed weather conditions. But
on the most dangerous stretches of the road, you can see the fingers of literally dozens of avalanches. And when the snow's gone, the devastation they leave in their path.
It still surprises me why this tree just beside us is still standing. That it's called Lone Tree, and it is right on its own along this flat section of road. Amazing that it stays here, because the wind blast affected all this area on both sides of it for about 600 meters. Yeah.
Beech trees hundreds of years old are snapped off just with the impact of the draft. Bare stretches are a sure sign the area is at risk. Workmen are only allowed in to clear when the experts are sure there's no more danger. It's disappointing for the hundreds of tourists who've missed out on the world-famous scenery of Milford Sound. But it's reassuring to know when the road does open, it'll be